Sometimes life feels like a dry land. No rain, no signs of growth, just silence. You wake up every day carrying a dream inside your chest, but the world does not notice. People walk past you, laugh louder than you, move faster than you, and you begin to wonder, am I wasting my time? You try, you fail, you wait, and still, nothing changes. But what if I told you that the most powerful force in your life is not loud, not fast, and not visible? What if the thing that can change your future is something you already have, but nobody ever taught you how to use? This is not a story about talent. This is not a story about luck. This is a story about self-control, the quiet strength that builds success while the world is sleeping. And this lesson might change the way you see your life forever. Ethan Miller was not special. At least, not in the way the world defines special. He was not the loudest voice in the room. He was not the fastest runner. He was not the smartest student in class. And he was definitely not the one people expected to succeed. Ethan was the kind of boy most people forget. At school, teachers noticed the students who talked too much and the ones who caused trouble. At home, neighbors praised the kids who showed trophies and medals. On social media, success looked bright, fast, and exciting. But Ethan lived in the background, quiet, observant, invisible. Every morning, he sat in the same seat, listened more than he spoke, watched others complain, argue, and give up, while inside him, something slowly began to grow. Not anger, not jealousy, but awareness. Ethan noticed something most people missed. He noticed how people reacted too quickly, how emotions controlled their actions, how small problems became big disasters just because someone could not control their words, their temper, or their impatience. He noticed how people wanted success but refused discipline, how they dreamed big but quit small. And without realizing it, Ethan made a quiet decision. He decided not to rush, not to react, not to waste his energy proving himself to anyone. While others spoke, he listened. While others complained, he worked. While others searched for shortcuts, Ethan chose control. Control over his emotions, control over his time, control over his habits. No one applauded him, no one encouraged him, no one even noticed. And that was the point. Because self-control does not need an audience. It does not announce itself. It does not demand attention. It works silently, in the small choices you make every day. When Ethan felt angry, he paused instead of reacting. When he felt lazy, he reminded himself why he started. When he felt invisible, he told himself growth does not need to be seen to be real. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Nothing changed on the outside, but inside, Ethan was becoming stronger. Not stronger in muscles, not stronger in words, but stronger in discipline. And discipline, when repeated daily, becomes destiny. While the world looked for loud motivation, Ethan was building quiet power. And this was only the beginning. Because the boy nobody noticed was learning a lesson that would one day separate him from everyone else. Dreams are fragile in the beginning. They are soft. They are quiet. And if shared with the wrong people, they can be crushed before they ever grow. One afternoon, Ethan finally spoke. Not loudly, not confidently, just honestly. He told a few people about his dream. Not a big speech, not a dramatic announcement, just a simple sentence about the life he wanted to build. And that was enough. Some people smiled, not with kindness, but with disbelief. Others laughed softly, as if his dream was a joke meant to entertain them for a moment. You? That's impossible. You should be realistic. People like you don't make it. Their words were not shouted, they were calm, and that made them hurt even more. Ethan felt it, that sharp pain in the chest when doubt enters your mind through someone else's voice. For a moment, he wanted to defend himself, to explain his plans, to prove them wrong. But then he stopped. He remembered something important. People who quit easily are always experts at doubting others. So Ethan stayed quiet. He realized something powerful that day. Not everyone deserves access to your dream. Not everyone needs to understand your vision. And not every opinion deserves your reaction. Instead of arguing, Ethan walked away. Not because he was weak, but because he was learning self-control. That night, he sat alone. No applause, no encouragement, only silence. And in that silence, he made another decision. I will let my discipline speak for me. From that day on, he stopped talking about his goals and started protecting them. He learned that silence is not fear, it is focus. Because dreams grow faster when they are fed by action, not noise. The hardest battles are not fought in the outside world. They are fought in the quiet moments when no one is watching. For Ethan, the real struggle began at night, after the world went silent, after distractions faded, after motivation disappeared. That's when the voice appeared. A voice that sounded like reason, but was actually fear. Why are you trying so hard? You're tired. You can start tomorrow. Look how slow your progress is. That voice did not scream. It whispered. And whispers are dangerous because they sound like truth. Ethan felt the weight of impatience, the pressure to see results, the temptation to quit quietly so no one would notice his failure. Some nights, he almost gave up. But instead of running from the feeling, Ethan sat with it. He observed his thoughts instead of obeying them. He realized something most people never learn. You do not have to act on every emotion. You do not have to believe every thought. Self-control is not about force, it is about awareness. So when he felt lazy, he did not insult himself, he simply took one small action. When he felt overwhelmed, he did not quit, he slowed down. When he felt discouraged, he reminded himself, slow progress is still progress. Day after day, Ethan trained his mind the same way others train their bodies. He learned to delay pleasure, to sit with discomfort, to choose effort over ease. And something began to change. Not outside, inside. His mind became calmer. His emotions became quieter. His confidence became steady. Not loud, not arrogant, but unshakable. Because when you win the battle in your mind, the outside world eventually follows. Ethan was no longer fighting people, he was mastering himself. And that was the moment everything truly began. Most people believe change begins with a big moment, a sudden decision, a burst of motivation, a dramatic turning point. But real change begins quietly. For Ethan, there was no celebration, no announcement, no one cheering him on. There were only small habits. Waking up a little earlier when his body wanted more sleep, choosing to learn when distraction felt easier, saying no to comfort so he could say yes to growth. These choices were invisible to the world, but they were changing him. Some days felt pointless. The effort felt too small. The progress felt too slow. He asked himself, "Is this even working?" But Ethan kept going, because he understood something important. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. While others waited for motivation, Ethan relied on routine. While others chased quick wins, he focused on consistency. There was no applause for discipline, no reward for patience, no praise for showing up when you feel tired and unsure. And yet, this is where success is born. Every quiet morning, every controlled decision, every moment he chose effort over excuses was a seed planted in dry soil. It did not look like growth, but beneath the surface, roots were forming, strong roots. Because habits do not change your life overnight, they change the direction of your life forever. And Ethan stayed committed, not because it was easy, but because quitting was no longer an option. Life has a way of testing you right when you are trying to improve. For Ethan, the tests did not come as opportunities. They came as frustration, as disrespect, as moments that demanded a reaction. Someone criticized him unfairly. Someone underestimated him openly. Someone pushed his patience to the edge. Old Ethan would have reacted, defended himself, explained, argued. But this time, he paused. He felt the anger rise, the urge to respond, the desire to prove his worth. And then he remembered, self-control is power. So instead of reacting, he breathed. Instead of arguing, he stayed calm. Instead of wasting energy on emotions, he redirected it into progress. This was not weakness, this was mastery. Ethan realized something powerful. People who cannot control their emotions are easy to control. When you react emotionally, you give others power over you. But when you stay calm, you keep your strength. Each time Ethan chose calm over chaos, he became stronger. Not on the outside, on the inside. His confidence no longer depended on approval. His peace no longer depended on situations. He stopped trying to win arguments and started winning days. Because real self-control is not about suppressing emotion, it is about choosing your response. And with every controlled reaction, Ethan was building a mind capable of handling success. Time passed. Not days, not weeks, but months. Ethan did everything right. He stayed disciplined, he controlled his emotions, he followed his habits. And yet, life looked the same. No big results, no dramatic change, no visible reward. This is the stage where most people quit, because slow progress feels exactly like failure to an impatient mind. Ethan watched others give up. Some said, "This is taking too long." Others said, "It's not working." And quietly, they returned to their old lives. Ethan felt the same frustration, the same doubt, the same exhaustion. But he chose patience. He reminded himself, growth is not always loud. Progress is not always visible. Some things grow underground before they rise above the surface. So instead of rushing, Ethan stayed consistent. Instead of chasing results, he focused on the process. Every day, he showed up. Not perfectly, not emotionally, but faithfully. He learned that patience is not passive waiting. It is active endurance. It is continuing to move forward without guarantees. And slowly, something inside him changed. He became calmer, stronger, more grounded. Not because life got easier, but because he stopped demanding quick rewards. Ethan understood something most people never do. If you can stay patient when nothing is happening, you are preparing for everything. The biggest transformations do not announce themselves. They happen quietly, in moments no one records and no one applauds. For Ethan, the turning point did not come as success. It came as clarity. One morning, he realized something had changed. Not the world, not his situation, him. He no longer felt desperate. He no longer needed validation. He no longer questioned his worth. His confidence was calm, steady, rooted, like a tree that does not shake when the wind blows. This is what self-control had given him, not instant success, but inner stability. He stopped comparing himself to others, stopped measuring progress by speed, stopped chasing outcomes. He trusted his habits, and that trust created peace. Unseen by others, his roots had grown deep, so deep that even if failure came, he would not break. Because now his strength was internal, and internal strength lasts. Ethan did not realize it yet, but this quiet transformation was preparing him for something bigger, something visible, something earned. Because when growth is real, results eventually follow, and when they do, they surprise everyone, especially the ones who stopped believing. Results never arrive loudly. They enter your life the same way discipline did, quietly. One day, Ethan noticed it. Things felt easier. The work that once drained him now felt natural. Decisions that once required effort now happened without struggle. He did not wake up successful. He woke up prepared. Small victories began to appear. People started noticing his consistency, not because he talked about it, but because it showed. His confidence was different now. Calm, unforced, real. Some people asked, "When did you change?" Ethan didn't know how to answer, because the truth was simple. He didn't change suddenly. He changed daily. Slowly, opportunities followed, not because of luck, but because he was ready to handle them. What once felt impossible now felt manageable. And the most powerful part? Ethan did not feel the need to celebrate loudly. He remembered the lonely mornings, the ignored effort, the silent discipline, and he smiled. Because the reward of self-control is not just success, it is peace. True success does not make noise. It creates calm. By now, Ethan understood something deeply. The greatest achievement was not what he gained, it was who he became. He no longer reacted emotionally, no longer rushed decisions, no longer chased approval. His emotions worked for him, not against him. When pressure came, he stayed grounded. When praise came, he stayed humble. When challenges returned, he stayed focused. This was mastery, not of people, not of circumstances, of self. Ethan realized that most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack control. Control over time, control over emotion, control over habits. And now he had built all three. His strength was quiet but unbreakable. He didn't need to prove anything anymore. Because when you control yourself, life listens. And when life listens, you lead. Looking back, Ethan finally understood the truth. Nothing magical had happened. There was no sudden breakthrough, no secret shortcut, no moment where the world suddenly became fair. What changed his life was something quiet, something simple, something most people ignore: self-control. The ability to pause when emotions demand reaction, The ability to continue when motivation disappears. The ability to stay consistent when results are invisible. Ethan realized that every time he chose discipline over comfort, patience over frustration, and action over excuses, he was shaping his future. Not loudly, not instantly, but permanently. He thought about the boy he used to be, the quiet one nobody noticed, and he smiled. Because that boy had been powerful all along, he just didn't know it yet. The silent power of self-control had carried him through doubt, through delay, through loneliness, and it would carry him through anything that came next. Because once you master yourself, nothing outside of you can stop you. Now, let me ask you something. What is your dry land? What dream have you been delaying because progress feels too slow? What habit do you keep postponing because comfort feels easier today? Listen carefully. You do not need more motivation. You do not need louder confidence. You do not need perfect conditions. You need self-control. The quiet decision to show up again tomorrow. The strength to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. The discipline to keep going even when no one notices. Because the truth is simple. The life you want is built in silence. One habit, one decision, one controlled reaction at a time. So start today, not loudly, not perfectly, but consistently. And remember this, when you choose self-control, you choose growth. When you choose patience, you choose power. And when you refuse to quit, you choose a future that will one day speak for itself. Thank you for listening. Stay disciplined, stay patient, and trust the quiet work you are doing.